This is Mediaweek.
Hello and welcome to the program. Ahead, speculation Fairfax and 2GB owner Macquarie Radio might restart merger talks. 10 commissions another new show for 2015 and we'll be joined this week by Starcom Mediavest CEO Chris Nolan. But first, our regular co-host James Manning from Mediaweek isn't here with us in studio this week, and that's because he's been following the Nova Entertainment Red Room tour. It's the radio company's latest effort to get listeners talking, and this year it took the event global. Competition winners and radio hosts visited various cities across 7 days, starting in Sydney, finishing in New York with a performance by Usher. Mediaweek's James Manning spoke with Tony Thomas, Nova Entertainment's marketing director, on how successful this campaign is in actually engaging audiences.
It's a live music brand that we created where we bring some of the biggest artists in the world into a whole bunch of different locations and give the crowd and our listeners an experience that they'll never forget. So we've held over 70 so far over 2 years, so it's gone incredibly successfully. We're pretty proud of what we've created.
Now you're ramping it up significantly with this global tour. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we wanted to take it to another level, so we had this crazy idea of taking 50 people on the road to see 6 different artists in 4 major cities over 7 days, and with the help of some great partners, Optus, Qantas and Sony and Marquee at the Star, we were able to take this kind of Red Room global. So for the people that are going, it's a week-long experience, not just a music experience, but it's just an experience, travel, you know, everything that's going to happen on that tour is going to be something that they will never forget.
Now, the logistics are pretty daunting, aren't they, for something like that? It must have taken your team quite a while to do. But the upside for you guys is you're going to have some very happy listeners and they come back and spread the word and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, the big part of it is the experience that we're creating for the people that are going on the tour. Probably the biggest thing that we're focused on is how we capture all of that and we make sure that the content and the experiences that they have are shared across all our digital platforms, our partners' digital platforms and all our social media channels. So it's an experience that we don't want just to be for the people that are on the tour, and I suppose that's the thing that's really important, all the content that comes out of it.
So yeah, you get lots of bites at the cherry, if you like. You get the on-air experience with Smallsy, your national evening host, and then you get a lot of digital content for your online, your websites, mobile, stuff like that.
Yeah, we get Smallsy's going to be doing his show from all the cities that he's touring. We've got all the great content that's going to happen in between the shows. The travel related content, and all the kind of challenges that go with travelling over that kind of to that extent over 7 days, and then the music experiences. I mean, for a lot of the people that are going on this trip to be in New York and see an artist like Usher at Marquee Club in New York is just something that is really difficult to be able to explain to people. So being able to capture that and then disseminate it across all our platforms is really important for us.
Getting the rights to run the content on all different platforms, I guess, is it easier these days because it's what it's expected now?
Yeah, look, I think it is. For something like this, it's certainly part of the discussions, and Sony have been fantastic at bringing artists to us and working with us to ensure that, the content rights are there. Obviously, there are, so many logistical challenges to getting that content back, but at this stage, everything is looking really good. So
yeah. Is there almost as much focus on your digital content these days as there is what you broadcast on by traditional radio?
It's really important for us. I mean, obviously, we are a radio network, but Nova Entertainment has so many different channels that we obviously need to ensure that content that we capture on air is disseminated in the right form. So yeah, digital is really important for us. We're big focus on our digital video content. And our social channels are incredibly important. I mean, we've got huge social communities across all the major social platforms, and that ability to immediately connect with all the people that are not on this tour with just small updates on what's going on across the tour is the way that we really engage the audience beyond just radio.
2014's become a very competitive space for you in your demos. You've got another station playing hard in, I guess, the under 40s. You've got another live competitor with iHeartRadio starting up here, sort of locally live events. Is it helpful to be a first mover in the space? Yeah,
look, we've had a long plan. I don't think this is something that you can just kind of hatch overnight. And, if we took this global tour to the partners without having the experience, 2 years experience of creating this environment and creating, the confidence with the artists and the labels that we could do it at high quality, it just wouldn't happen. So, yeah, look, it's a competitive year. We respect the work that ARN's done on the KISS station in Sydney. We've had a really consistent year for us, and I think in kind of the world of media, it's really important to provide a really consistent audience, and that's what we've done, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Now, you're the head of marketing, but the Red Room, how much a marketing exercise is it, and how much is it a separate business, if you like, within the Nova Entertainment portfolio?
Well, look, being a marketer in a media organisation, there's always those two angles. I mean, we actually started out creating the Red Room brand as a brand that could turn a radio brand into something that people can touch and feel and experience. So that was our aim. And we didn't commercialise Red Room for some time, just so we could establish the brand itself. It's quite an enviable position to be in when you've actually implemented so many Red Rooms and seen the look on people's faces as they walk out of these, where they've had such an incredible emotional experience with your brand. That's something that you kind of, as a marketer, is kind of the nirvana. And now we're in a position where other brands are seeing that experience and other partners are seeing the experience that we've created and want to become part of it. And that's, with Optus and Qantas, it was a perfect marriage of the right partners with Sony and Marquee, the right partners that all brought something to this idea that complemented the idea and allowed it to become a better idea. And I think that's the important things. We don't want to force fit a brand or a partner with something like a Red Room, because it will degrade the brand, and if it doesn't have an effective role to play, well, then people do say, well, why? That's just a commercial exercise only, really. So.
The Sydney FM market in 2014, what have been the challenges for a marketer?
The predictability of it, really, being able to really understand kind of the huge dynamics that are going on and the shifts in audience that are going on. So for a marketer, it's like, it's always been a very fast industry to operate in and try and plan to. But with the big changes that are going on, where Today FM have come right off, and KISS have had a solid start to the year. For us, it hasn't really changed our game. We've always had our strategy and our plans pretty well laid out.
You've almost dodged a bullet this year, haven't you? I mean, you've held quite well.
Yep.
Someone else has hurt.
Yep.
And someone else has done pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, but I think that comes down to the strength of the Nova brand as a network brand around the country. The quality shows that we've got all around the country that have been in market for some time now, that are really starting to engage an audience. So yeah, while the sands are shifting around us, we have had a solid year, and I think I said before that I think it's important for our advertisers to have the confidence that we're going to have the audience and we're going to continue to have it. So.
Could there be more global Red Rooms? I mean, is this a foot in the water?
Well, I'm actually just going on the first part of the leg just to come back so we can start planning the next one. Look, we've always come up with big, brave ideas. We've always, I've kind of valued coming up with ideas that kind of we can take to clients where they kind of their jaw hits the ground, and that's going to be no different. We're going to make sure that this is as successful as it possibly can for everyone involved, and then absolutely we'll be back looking at where we take it next.
To stay with us here on Media Week, coming up, we're joined by Chris Nolan, CEO of media buying agency Starcom MediaVest.